there's a version of you who apparently goes on every vacation. They wake up early and work out in the hotel gym. They change clothes before dinner and they wear those beautiful shoes, the ones that hurt after 20 minutes. And somehow they need three different outfits for a day that will mostly involve walking, sightseeing, and trying to figure out the local transportation system. The problem is that that person does not appear to be going on your trip. You are. And this fantasy version of your vacation is probably the reason your suitcase is overflowing with clothes that you will never wear. Because most people don't pack for their actual itinerary, they pack for all the things they can imagine possibly doing. So today, we're going to stop packing for imaginary dinners, imaginary workouts, and imaginary outfit changes. And instead, we're going to build a wardrobe for the trip you are actually taking. Because packing less starts with being honest about what your days will really look like. All right, here's what usually happens. You're standing in front of your closet, and instead of looking at your itinerary, you start imagining possibilities. Maybe we'll go somewhere really nice. Ooh, maybe I'll work out every morning. Maybe I'll want to change before dinner. And maybe I'll finally wear that dress I bought 6 months ago. So into the suitcase it goes. And none of these items seem unreasonable on their own. It's just one dress, one workout set, and one extra pair of shoes or one nicer top. But every imaginary scenario adds another item. And suddenly, a 7 day trip requires 14 outfits. This suitcase fills up one maybe at a time. And when you arrive, you're going to wear the same comfortable pants, the same two or three tops, and the shoes you already know that you could walk in. So, before you pack a single piece of clothing, we need to replace the fantasy trip with the real one. So, step one, count real days, not vacation days. So, let's say you're taking a 7 day trip. That does not necessarily mean you need seven full sightseeing outfits, seven dinner outfits, and two travel outfits. You want to look at what each day actually contains. Day one, it's probably mostly going to be about flying and checking into the hotel. Day two might be sightseeing all day, followed by a casual dinner. Day three could include a tour where you wear the same outfit from breakfast until bedtime. And day seven may be another travel day. When you break it down, that 7 day trip may only require 4 or 5 true daytime outfits. And even then, you probably don't need every outfit to be completely different. So pull up your itinerary and write down what you are actually doing each day. Not what you might do, and not what would be fun if you suddenly had unlimited energy. What is already planned or realistically likely to happen. This one step will eliminate a surprising amount of clothing. Step two, stop inventing formal events. This one is the biggest fantasy packing trap, the imaginary fancy dinner. I used to do it all the time. I mean, now, if you have a reservation somewhere with an actual dress code, then absolutely pack for it. Then that is a real event. But if your reasoning is we might find somewhere nice, you probably do not need a formal outfit, a special bag, and a pair of shoes you won't wear anywhere else. All you need is one dinner ready combination that still works with the rest of your wardrobe. Maybe it's as simple as a dress with a light layer. Or maybe it's your most polished top with the same pants you wore during the day. Add an earrings, add a scarf, or the lipstick you love. I always go for red. And you're done. Most vacations do not require a complete costume change every evening. And after you walked 12,000 steps, showered, and finally sat down for 5 minutes, there's a very good chance you are not going to want to reconstruct your entire face and outfit just to go eat. You'll maybe want to change your shoes, but you'll most likely just freshen up and then go to dinner. So you want to pack for that person. Step three, be honest about the gym. All right, now we need to talk about workout clothes. If you regularly exercise while traveling, this is not about you. You can go ahead and skip to step four because you already know what you use, how often you work out, and whether your hotel's fitness room is actually part of your routine. You're good. But if you've never once visited a hotel gym, your vacation's probably not going to be the moment you suddenly become a 5 a.m. treadmill person. And yet, we've all done it. Workout clothes are just like one of those things you pack automatically. The leggings, the sports bra, the socks, the athletic top, the second pair of sneakers. That is a lot of suitcase space for a workout that only exists in your imagination. So, before packing a single piece of workout gear, ask yourself a very simple question: did I exercise on my last 3 trips? If the answer is no, you probably do not need an entire fitness wardrobe on this one. And that's okay. Don't you dare shame your future vacation you into thinking that you should work out. The only thing you should do is have an amazing vacation. And if you truly want the option to stretch, walk, or do a quick workout in your room, then choose some clothing that can do double duty. Your primary walking shoes are probably going to already be enough. A comfortable t shirt is probably already in your wardrobe. Life is too short to pack clothes that are just going to make you feel guilty later for not using them. All right, step 4, pack for the walking you'll actually do. At home, a pair of shoes may feel perfectly comfortable because you wear them from the car into the restaurant. But that is not the same thing as wearing them for a full day in Rome, Paris, New York, or really anywhere that you're going to be walking for hours. Travel has a way of revealing the truth about shoes very quickly. The straps start rubbing, the sole feels thinner than you remembered, and suddenly those comfortable sandals are being carried in your hand while you search for somewhere to buy sneakers. So, look at how you will actually move through the destination. Are you renting a car? Are you using public transport? Are you walking on cobblestones, climbing hills, standing during tours, dealing with rain? Your shoe choices should answer those questions. Every pair needs a real job. And for something that takes up so much luggage space, every pair needs to work with multiple outfits. I'm going to link below my super short 3-minute video covering the 3 shoe formula if you want to dig in a little deeper. But the gist is for most city trips, your proven walking shoe is going to do most of the work. Then you may need one smaller, nicer option for evenings, but it still should be something super comfortable as walking to and from dinner is likely to be in your future. And if the climate or itinerary requires a third pair, such as a waterproof shoe or beach sandal, that pair has a very specific purpose. But any more than that, and you're likely starting to venture into fantasy vacation you territory, or you're bringing shoes that are way too specific to be worth the weight in your luggage. Step 5, pack for the climate, not just the temperature. Another reason fantasy packing fails is that we look at the temperature and just like imagine how it's going to feel. 75 degrees sounds lovely, but 75 degrees with high humidity, direct sun, and no breeze feels very different from 75 degrees in a dry climate. And 60 degrees during a sunny afternoon can feel completely different from 60 degrees on a windy evening near the water. So don't just check the high temperature, look at and think about the morning and evening lows, humidity, rain, wind, indoor air conditioning, and how much of your time are you going to be spending outside. Then choose clothing that can adjust. A lightweight layer you can put on and remove is usually more useful than packing entirely separate wardrobes for every possible temperature. And remember, if the forecast changes, layering gives you options. A suitcase full of unrelated backup outfits usually doesn't. Step 6, use laundry to your advantage. I get it. When we think about our vacation selves, doing laundry isn't something we're picturing. Personally, I hate doing laundry, so I get it. But if you're going on a longer trip, incorporating the ability to do laundry can really be a game changer. If your hotel has a guest laundry, your cabin offers laundry service, or you are staying in an apartment with a washing machine, use that information when you pack. You don't need 10 days of completely different clothing if you can wash everything halfway through the trip. And even without a machine, you may be able to hand wash a lightweight top, underwear, or socks in the sink and let them dry overnight. This is where fabric matters. A quick drying shirt you can wear twice is much more useful than a bulky item you wear once and then carry around dirty for the rest of the trip. Packing with laundry in mind can cut your clothing almost in half, especially on longer trips. Now, I will state, If you have allergies like I do, then it's best to bring your own laundry detergent or pods, as if you use a service, they're likely going to use a detergent you'll be sensitive to. So I like to pack a couple pods into a snack size Ziploc bag just for this reason. In step 7, pack the clothes you already wear. This may be the most important step. Go into your closet and look at what you actually wear during a normal week, not the clothes you wish you wore, and not the clothes you're saving until you lose 5 pounds, and not the pieces that still have tags but supposedly will be perfect somewhere in Europe. You want to grab the items you reach for without thinking. Those pants that remain comfortable after a long day, the tops that make you feel fabulous, that don't require constant adjusting, and the shoes you can wear for hours. Those are your travel clothes. Your favorites became favorites for a reason. They fit, they're comfortable, you already know how they behave, and you know it works with them. Travel is not the time to conduct a wardrobe experience. What's that saying? No matter where you go, there you are, right? If you do not willingly wear something at home, changing countries is not going to magically make you love it. And lastly, the prove it test. Once you think you're finished packing, pull out every item that was added as a maybe. Maybe we'll go somewhere fancy. Maybe I'll work out. Maybe I'll need a sweater. Maybe I'll wear these shoes. Then make each item prove that it deserves the space. Ask, what exact day or activity is this for? Can I wear it with at least two other things? Would I choose this over the clothes I already know I love? And if I leave it at home, what is the realistic consequence? If the only consequence is that you might have to repeat an outfit, then that is not an emergency. You can leave it at home because nobody at your destination is keeping a record. And even if they were, you can just imagine that they're applauding you for your efficient, intelligent packing. Now it's time for the recap rundown. Count the days and activities you actually need to dress for. Stop inventing formal events that are not on the itinerary. Be honest about whether you really use the hotel gyms. Choose shoes for your actual walking demands. Check the full climate, not just the high temperature. Use laundry access to reduce what you bring, and don't forget to bring your own pods if you have sensitive skin. Pack clothing you already wear and trust, and make every maybe item prove it deserves a space. The goal is not to prepare for every imaginary version of your vacation or imaginary version of yourself. The goal is to feel comfortable and appropriately dressed for the trip that is actually happening. Because the fantasy traveler may wake up for a 6 a.m. workout, change clothes 3 times a day, and wear brand new shoes for an 8 hour walking tour, but that imaginary person is not carrying the suitcase. You are. Thank you so much for watching and supporting the channel. Don't forget to subscribe for more calm, practical travel tips every week because packing less isn't about going without. It's about leaving behind the things you were never going to use.